Person. This episode of Babetalk is brought to you by another babe. I got a guest here. What's up, Amanda? How's life doing?
It's doing.
Same.
What incredible vivid
I
detail.
planned that one out.
Did you plan it out?
That's my usual answer to how's life. How's life doing? It's doing.
It's doing. Same. I'm gonna put that on a shirt before you can.
Do it, please.
Ha 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 ha. I'm gonna earn money.
Keep it doing.
I'm gonna keep it doing. Welcome to Babe Talk, everybody. Today we have an actual guest. This man's name is Matt, and he is from the band The Way Away. Hello, Matt. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing perfectly okay. Because my name's Ali, and because Babe Talk is weird, we never do anything normal. So that was just a quick view into the unnormal ways of life. So
The
hopefully
real
everyone.
way.
This is the real way. This the way away. Oh man.
And the bad jokes begin.
And that's actually where we stop our show, ladies and gentlemen. It was nice speaking to you today. We'll talk to you guys later.
I'm going to bed. Bye.
Yep, same. So this show was supposed to happen last week, but because the world hates me, it didn't. So we're making up for it, and we're going to be doing it tonight. So don't get used to Monday nights, everybody. Or get used to Monday nights. I don't know, but we're going to try and
Gives
keep
you more
on
wiggle room if you mess up. They
True,
use the
yeah.
Monday,
That's very true, because I wanted to keep a consistent audience, but people don't like me, so it's not like the audience cares anyway. So it doesn't matter, as long as they like you and we're able to draw people to look at your face. That's all that matters.
Well, you're going to have a ratings dip.
No,
It's going down.
damn. Well, we'll try and make it work. I'll just lie to people next week and be like, "Hey guys, we have like Pete Wentz." And be like, "Oh, what? It's Matt again." Now you have to watch it because you're already here.
Surprise.
Surprise. Anyway, we start the show off by asking our guests how their past few days were. And Matt, if you wish to let me know how you whiz.
Is good, I suppose. I'm in the frozen tundra of Minnesota. So
How is that treating you?
this past weekend was actually really nice. Like I think yesterday and today we were up in the 50s. Whereas,
nice.
We're usually down in like the teens, so it's been good. I don't have much to complain about.
Now, I know that you're from the tundra of Minnesota. Do you like it any more than any other person would like snow?
No.
I mean, I know that's kind of like a dumb question. Okay. I'm trying to figure out, like, if people get used to it, it's like, oh, yeah, like, I totally love snow now.
Well, I mean, you get used to it, but, I mean, as long as it doesn't affect my commute or, like, if like, when it's, like, the Arctic blast and it's, like, -40, that's when it really sucks.
Oh, God.
But, I mean, if it's, like, 30 and there's snow, it's just kind of like whatever. But
Now you said -40. Is that, like, a real temperature?
it's a real thing.
God, fuck that, man. God bless you. Like,
We
fuck
didn't really
all of that.
We didn't really have that this much like this past year, but like the past couple of years, like with the wind chill, it gets really cold.
That's insane.
Yeah.
What was the coldest that you've experienced?
-45, I think.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I used to drive a '89 Chevy Corsica with heat that didn't work.
All of that sounds like a bad time.
It was a great time.
A car from like pre-1990, just like maybe it's just like the Fargo that I'm thinking of, that like in that area, like you guys just don't see progression of technology.
No, I'm just broke.
Same. So at least I understand you on that level. It's
Yeah,
like I
right.
got a struggle car because struggle life.
Exactly.
Damn. Now where do you work?
I work at I have a corporate job actually. I work for a aftermarket auto parts company, but I do accounts payable, so I'm a bean counter.
Oh man, so you got all the cool data entries and stuff.
Yeah, I do stuff like that.
Oh, it's depressing.
Yeah.
Man, we got more in common than I thought, because I also got an office job.
Oh, really? What do you do?
I'm a graphic designer and a social media marketer.
Well, that's a little bit more like you get to do cooler stuff than I do.
Kind of, because I work for the city of New Jersey, so there's only but like so much fun that I can have. Like when someone says like,
Well,
yeah, I do social media work for an airport that's owned by the state that doesn't believe in fun. Oh,
Well,
I didn't say that out
I
loud.
think,
Oh.
I think there's only I mean, I've never been to New Jersey, but I think there's probably a limited amount of fun you can have in New Jersey in general.
Yeah. Well, it's more like we have to appease to the state. Like I can't say like I'm not going to say it now because I'll just get back to my job and just be like, yeah, Oliver, you're right. You can't say that, and now you're fired. So set
Bye.
examples. Clean out your desk, which is what the doctors say. Ugh, desks.
We actually cleaned it up for you. Here's your box.
Here's your box. It's brown, just like you. But that's fun. How long you been working there for? Is it at least kind of?
I actually just started like 4 months ago. Before that, I was working at a trophy and awards business, doing kind of the same thing. But yeah, worked there for. Well, I worked there for a really long time, like throughout high school. Like I used to actually like make trophies and stuff like that. And then I graduated from high school or from college, and they're like, "Oh, you want to stay here?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I guess. I don't really know what I'm doing." So
it's like, do you just want to stay? It's like, I guess.
I mean, it's easier than finding an actual job, you know.
True. God, job market sucks.
Yeah, so I mean, it kind of gave me the opportunity to do something relative to my career path, and also like do band stuff because we're in a small business. I could take off as much time as I wanted, and so that was really cool. But yeah.
But now you're at now you're a desk jockey.
Now I sold out. Yeah.
Damn, we sold out. We're not punks anymore. God, life sucks so much.
In here though.
It's right here, right with emotions, where you write your songs about, and they
Exactly.
translate to digital very well. Hey, you're in a band. What, we talk about music on this show? What?
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
I thought it was a job interview. I wasn't sure.
It's like, is this a paid podcast? Do I? How much is my salary per episode? So let's jump into the thick of things. You're in a band. That's cool shit. Let's discuss it.
All right.
If you wish to, tell the audience at home the position you play in said band, and also give a brief intro.
Okay. Well, I'm Matt. Hi. I sing and play guitar. I sing and play guitar in a band called The Way Away. We're a pop punk band from Minneapolis. We just released a new EP called Something I Never Wanted a couple weeks ago. We've been doing some touring around the Midwest and hoping to get more into that, the more that our band continues to grow. And we're playing a couple weeks in St. Paul with Hawthorne Heights and the Ataris and Handguns. Yeah, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. We were lucky enough to play Warped Tour last year. That was pretty rad.
Nice.
And just excited to keep going and play more shows and yada yada frickin' data.
Yeah, freaking data. Same. So let's jump into how you guys formed. You guys have been around for how many years would you say?
That's a loaded question.
All right. Well, hey, let's just.
I started the band with a couple other guys back in like 2012, and I was just playing guitar at the time, and we kind of went through a lot of different member changes. We wrote some really shitty songs, made all the mistakes that a young band normally does, and I'm glad we did it that way, just because now I know what not to do. But yeah, then we kind of settled on the current lineup actually about a year ago, but we put out an EP called Carry On in September of 2014, and that's kind of when we actually started doing stuff like a realish band, I guess you could say.
Like knuckling down.
Yeah, kind of figuring out what our sound was going to be, how to conduct ourselves and actually get shows and that kind of thing. But yeah, so right now I'm singing and playing guitar. My friend Jeff, he plays lead guitar. He actually used to play bass, but then when our old guitar player quit, he jumped on guitar because he's been playing in bands since like 2000. I don't even know. He played in a lot of metalcore bands, so like he's super riffy, which kind of shows on the new EP. But
riffy bro.
And then when he jumped to guitar, his brother Jake started playing bass for us, and a little bit before that, we found our drummer Wyatt. So this has probably been the longest we've actually had a single lineup. Just because people. They start playing in bands and like it's fun, but like sometimes people want to go do something else. Like one of our old drummers got married. The other one, he went down to Florida for school. So it's just kind of different life choices, I guess. But we're all settled in. We're locked and loaded, ready to go.
Nice, and it's always good to find people that have like-minded goals that you do for said
Yeah,
band. Because like
exactly.
when you end up having a band and you're not, because I am totally in a band and played in bands, so I definitely know the dynamics. When you're all not on the same page, it's kind of hard to come up with what you want for the future. As much as it's good to kind of like say, hey, let's just keep making music, and hey, we'll put a new EP out. You kind of want to think like 2, 3 years in advance, say like, well, what are
Sure,
we gonna do?
sure. Yeah, and
So
then
it's
yeah. You're gonna say
yes.
something? What?
No, no, just if you get an idea, just run me over. I am just here just to ask a question,
Oh no,
and your words are more
I wouldn't say,
important.
I wouldn't say that, but no, I was gonna say like that's all very true, very important. I think I mean like for us, we're pretty goal oriented as well, but like we also just kind of want to have fun with what we're doing, and it's like like when these cool opportunities come up, it's like well yeah, like let's do it, but we're not like oh we're gonna sign to Rise Records or like
Get
we're
a
just like
16 album like contract with Victory, man. We're set.
yeah, no, I mean we're just kind of our mentality is just put out the music we want to put out and have fun and like I think that if you work hard and you have fun with it, good things will happen for you. That's kind of our mentality. So
There you go. Work hard, play hard.
exactly.
There you go. I think that was off a Nike shirt. Never really thought it would apply in real life, but so let's visit your earlier days with the member changes and then finally starting to find your tone. How long would you say it kind of took you guys to find your tone, especially with all the changes in band members? Like when was that time when you said like this is it?
Honestly, I don't think we even really found it till we put this last EP out because when we wrote our first, well, there was an EP before this one, but I don't count it. When we wrote our first EP, Carry On, that was kind of in the middle of one of the member changes, so it was really hard to actually sit down and like write a bunch of songs. And so like for that one, it was just kind of like okay, like whatever pops up, like that's what we're gonna do. I felt like I really like those songs. I don't feel like we were able to develop or take the kind of chances that makes like takes a song from here to here.
Mhm.
And like that one, like we really just kind of put it together and said okay, like this is it's a solid group of pop punk songs. Like okay, like here we are, we're a band, like we're gonna do this. And then it was really when we moved Jeff to guitar was that was when like he had a lot more input in the writing process. It's not like when he was playing bass, it was kind of like, well, you play rhythm, like I'll kind of follow you and do like bass fills in between. But like, when he moved to guitar and we got our two other new members, that's kind of when we all kind of came together and started writing songs as a band, rather than kind of like taking like 3/4 of one person's idea and then saying, okay, well that's our song. So like it was nice because started getting more input on all the songs, and I think it really, if you listen to the first EP compared to the second one, I think you really hear a big difference because, we're getting a lot, more, well, a lot different influences going into the actual writing. So that's kind of where when we found our sound, I'd say.
Hmm. And not only did you find your sound, you kind of found yourselves really working as a band because being able
Yeah.
to take several different people's ideas and then mash them into one song. Typically, you'll see bands and they'll have like a writer and they say
Yeah.
like, all right, 1, 2, 3, follow me. But you guys are like so in unison that you're able to write together as a
Mhm.
whole.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of the cool thing because, well, I mean, I don't play too many other instruments that, yeah, well, I mean, I can probably play bass, but like, Jeff going from bass to lead guitar, he was able to say, oh, Jake, like it'd be really cool if you did this on the bass. And then Jake coming from the different types of bands and different, you know, pop punk bands that he listens to that we might not listen to. He's like, oh, like it'd be really cool if we did this here. And I know our drummer Wyatt, he's actually a really good bass player. So he like, gives really good input as far as like, different notes and song structures and stuff like that. So it's cool to actually like get different perspectives on the different instruments without, actually having that person play it.
True. That's very
Yeah.
true. The versatility is very strong.
Yes. Exactly.
So your writing styles, very pop punk. Kids that are used to the new wave, I guess, kind of like the
Yeah, Knuckle Pucks and Real Friends and
yeah.
yeah.
You guys fit very well into that. But what set you guys apart is that you do hold some of the early 2000s emotional writing style, which I really appreciate. Because like when I saw that you guys played with Hawthorne Heights and then listened to your EP, I was like, that meshes so well, and it's kind of like a contrast because like you'll hear
Sure.
like the Hawthorne Heights and it's kind of like gritty. It's more like a Bayside kind of heavy type of vibe. But you guys
Yeah.
perfectly entwine the emotional depth of the songwriting, then still have the posy jumps that you can find within the pop punk songs. And
Yeah.
where would you guys kind of find yourselves pulling from? Would it be your own life? Would it be like the things that you guys have experienced? The other artists that you listen to?
Sure. Well, I mean, like as far as like the instrumentals go, I'd say we kind of gear more towards like that early 2000s pop punk style, just because that's like, that's what we grew up with. That those are the bands we love. Like we love like, Newfound Glory, Bayside, Alkaline Trio, like, bands like that. And then, also like getting like the metalcore influences from Jeff, like I think his favorite band in the world is Unearth. I don't know if you ever listen to Unearth, but like that's his shit. And bands like After the Burial and and that was one of the things we kind of did on this new one with like harmonizing guitars and kind of like bringing those influences and making them our own. As far as like the writing goes, I guess like when I try and write pop punk songs, I try to make them a bit more upbeat. We usually go for major key type stuff, because we want
Hmm.
like that bouncy, like, oh, okay, la da da. And I basically take like the most like depressing things from my life, and I'm like, I'm gonna put this in a happy song so that you don't know what's going on.
Hmm.
But like as far as like the content of the songs, they're all about, I write the lyrics, but I kind of draw from like our own personal experiences. Like, a lot of them mine, but like some of them like, if I know like a friend who's going through something, I try to put myself in that perspective and, think like, well, how would I feel? Kind of just, write about the things that we're all going through because it's kind of the only thing that gets us by.
Hmm. So where would you say the major change lies around from? Because I know you guys like, and I've had friends that would put out one EP and then like would finally get, like tight, and then put
Sure.
out stuff that they like far more. So from the other EP to this one now, where would you say the major changes lie in between?
I think we just got better writing songs, to be
Hmm.
honest, and just having like that extra input. And after writing one EP that we like, I mean, we felt pretty good about it, and just having it go over like as well as it did, I feel like that kind of gave us the freedom to actually like take the next one and go, okay, well, let's just write over whatever the hell we want. Like if people like it, cool. Like if I don't, like, we don't really care. I mean,
Yeah,
like I guess like I mean, we do care if people like it, but
of
like,
course.
I mean, like, everybody has that human complex, but like at the same time, it just is kind of like, well, let's just write this one for us. Let's just throw everything that we want in there. And like, just kind of like from like a lyrical standpoint, just like having the opportunity to write another EP. I felt like on the first one, I kind of held back a little bit and tried to make the lyrics a bit more manila, like kind of
Yeah,
like, oh, like, like this is just kind of like a, you know, like not plain, but like
generic.
generic. Yeah. Yeah. More,
Yeah,
more generic. And like on this one, I
which
was
that
like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
now I was gonna say like it's not like it would have a negative connotation to it. It's more just like you guys, it's your first time, putting
Yeah,
songs to paper,
exactly. Yeah,
so you're gonna do what's familiar to you.
exactly. And then like just kind of on this last one, I was just kind of like, well, I already know that like I can write, so why not like dig deeper. So it kind of gave me the freedom to actually, write something that was a bit more true to myself, a bit more personal and a bit more freeing, I guess.
Hmm.
So I'd say those are probably the biggest differences.
There we go. Where'd your first itch come from wanting to jump into music, like wanting to start writing things?
Well, I would say, I've kind of always had a, itch to write. Not necessarily like with music per se, but like I remember back in high school, just like writing stories for English class or just like, just writing on my own time. I always really enjoyed it. And then I kind of started playing guitar a little bit. I was awful, but like I had a good time with it. Hey, suck. My dog's coming.
Let me see the. Oh my God, that's a dog.
See the dog. Ah,
I want to see the puppy.
oh, here.
Ah,
This is
what's
Sookie.
Pupper's Snooky? Snooky, that's perfect.
No,
Wait,
no, no.
Snooky.
Sookie, like cookie, but with an S.
Oh, okay. See, I'm sorry. I'm from South Jersey. I automatically assume like,
Oh
oh,
no, I
Snooky.
wouldn't.
Okay,
I wouldn't name my dog after Snooki.
cool. True.
No, it's actually I don't know if you've ever seen the show True Blood.
No, I have not.
It's the main character on that show.
Oh, okay, okay.
Jackie, you can come out here. She doesn't want to follow my fiance outside.
Damn. She said, "No,
Anyways,
I don't
what was
want.
the
I don't."
So you gotta
Um,
go outside? Oh, well, I'm not gonna take you out. I'm
Daddy's
sorry.
busy.
What were we talking about?
Your English class and how you were writing for that.
Oh yeah, yeah, and just like I always really enjoyed, writing, kind of expressing myself that way. And I started playing guitar and like getting into it. But like I remember like I think the one kind of instance where I really wanted to like start playing in a band was I went to a Yellow Card show and they've always been my favorite band. And just kind of like, like hearing Ryan like tell the story behind some of these songs and like how personal it was and like just like knowing how I connected with it. Like I thought that was something that was really special. And I just thought, well, like why don't I try and do that? And started the band about a year after that, and here we are.
True. So let's go through something I never wanted, and then having to get the inspiration to want to share
It's
personal
something you
stories off
personally
of
never wanted, or the EP?
the EP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's my bad
So
joke for the night.
I got it. That took me a second. I was interviewing. I was like, "Oh, Oliver, be professional," and then it like went straight over my head, my big ass afro head.
It's a nice
Um.
afro.
Oh wait, thank you. I work hard for it. Not me. So, what would be your story that you would put that you would tell people, like the same way that you saw Ryan from Yellow Card do?
Well, I guess the EP is just kind of, it's about like a lot of it kind of stems from like, a time in my life like 5 years ago when I was just super depressed and like was just having a really hard time with a lot of different things. Like I was going through a lot of changes. Like I got out of a really bad relationship. My grandma died and I kind of like lost a lot of friends just like through like the years. And the EP is just kind of about like, okay, like, this is where I'm at, like, but things can get better, kind of, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of like a weird like internal conflict where it's like I feel like in part like points of the EP, like I know like I could get better, but I don't know if I want to. And it's just like kind of something that's kind of always just kind of been there like for me personally. So I guess with the EP, it's just kind of just saying like, this is stuff that people go through every day. Like we don't have to act like it's not there,
True.
like nobody's going through that stuff alone.
Yeah.
So
It's not an uncommon thing.
yeah, exactly. But
So when did you guys say, all right, it's time to get back into this studio and start putting out something that we want to put our name to?
when did we start that? Well, I know it was probably about a year-ish ago. It was kind of when we were starting to go through the new member changes, and just knowing that we were going to have those different influences coming into it, and we're like, okay, like this band's completely different from the last EP. You know, there's only one person playing the same same instrument on this one, you know, compared to the last one. So I think that was when we were kind of like, well, you know, let's try and write something that we feel is going to be more representative of what our band is now and what it will be going forward. And I think it was about a year ago we started writing the fourth track, which is Echoes, and we had that done like a couple months later. I know we put it out in the summer, and then we redid some stuff and re-released it for the EP. But yeah, it's probably about a year ago that we actually started to, you know, hone in on actually writing it.
And when did you guys feel like you were at the point at which you were strong enough to take the show on the road?
Well, I bet if he asked any of us, we'd probably say we're still not there. But no.
Oh shit.
No, we're you know, we're too hard on ourselves. But no, I'd say probably, you know, around this time last year, that's when we did our first tour. We just did like a, you know, a small Midwest run. We did like 4 days, and like we hit up you know, a couple days in Wisconsin, went to Chicago and through Iowa and back up. That's kind of when we started feeling like, okay, like let's, you know, go out and do it. And actually we that was before another member change, but you know, now that we actually have had a solid lineup, you know, we're practicing more, we're getting more in rhythm with each other. So it's kind of, you know, it's always a progression. Like the more you play with each other, the more you feel comfortable and confident, like going onto the road and, you know, playing shows in cities where you've never been before. So yeah, I don't know if that answered the question or not.
Oh no, it did, because it's like, oh, like when do you guys want to start playing shows?
It's funny. It's like you think about questions like this, then you start talking, and then like you get to a certain point, you're like, I'm talking in a circle.
Well, no, because you typically they draw good answers, because like when you stop thinking about the question on itself and you start answering off the cuff, that's when it's like the PR mode turns off and the more person turns on.
Sure.
At least I think so. I tried.
Yeah, definitely.
So, goddamn Hawthorne Heights. How did that show come together?
Well, Jeff, he's known the promoter. Well, the guy who's putting on the show here, he's known that promoter for like probably 6 or 7 years, and has worked with him and his other bands. And he just asked, "Hey, you guys want to play this show?"
Friends work, man. Friends in high places are great to have.
And we're like, well, yeah, I suppose we would. So
sure, I guess
that's kind of how that came together. Not a whole lot of effort on our end, which is really cool. Just, you know, to actually have someone approach you and say, hey, you guys want to play this, you know, freaking sick show.
It's like, yeah, we'll think about it for like a day, and we'll get back to you. Yeah,
pretty much.
But that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys are gonna have that show coming up soon.
Yep.
What are your tour goals that you're looking for?
I suppose I know Jeff really wants to go to New York. I'd like to get to the coast. You know, I've been to the coast, but like to get there in a van or well, we actually toured my Chevy Blazer right now. But
man, you and your cars are so good. Every car that comes out of your mouth, I'm just like, oh, this is so choice.
Yeah, no, actually, I think we've established that we no longer want to tour in the Blazer, but you know, for a week we won't do it. But
yeah.
You know, I mean, I want to go just as far as we can. Like if we could drive to Nicaragua, I'd do it. you know, just as long as it's fun and like people, you know, are digging it. Like I don't care where we play. But
so, what about your local scene? How have you seen a lot of reception towards your music there? Do you find that you guys find a little bit more success outside your local scene?
I'd say it's kind of a mixed bag. I think that the new EP went over a lot better with our local scene than I thought it would, because in Minneapolis right now, like emo is really big. And like the more of like the knuckle pucky type pop punk is really big. Mm-hmm. There's only maybe like three other bands that kind of go for that early 2000s pop punk type vibe.
Yeah.
And it's also the biggest problem in Minneapolis right now is that there aren't a lot of places to play. We have like one or two venues like total.
Oh, wow.
And one of them is actually like it's like a half hour from the cities, so it's not even in Minneapolis.
Hmm.
And a lot of the houses that used to throw on house shows either don't do them anymore or they got shut down. So that's kind of the biggest problem like with our scene right now. But because it pretty much thrives on house shows, and it really just depends on who can throw them. And lately it just it's a lot of the more emo type shows that go on, and a lot of times we don't fit that, and that's fine, but
Yeah.
I know we go up to Duluth, Minnesota quite a bit, and we have a pretty good turnout there. And Milwaukee is probably our favorite place to play. So every time we go out there, like the kids just go nuts for every band. Like we played
great.
10 band bills with like straight up like metalcore bands, and the kids just love it. They love it from front to back, and like it's those shows that are the most fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, but what would you say would be the one thing that you would want to change about your own local scene, and what's the best thing that you've seen within like, let's say, like your immediate scene? Because of course you'll have like places you'll travel to that will
Sure.
have good reception. But what about like where you would call hometown?
I guess the one thing I would change about our local scene would be, I guess I wish, everybody would kind of step out of their comfort zone a little bit more, because I mean, obviously like I'm sure we're guilty of a lot of these things I'm going to say, but it kind of feels like a lot of the shows are the same four bands playing over and over and over and over. And it's like, like it's cool. Like if, you have this handful of emo bands and you have this handful of pop punk bands, but like, why not like put them together and like have, some like different bills so that, the kids who are going to see these other bands can be exposed to, these other, because we have, a plethora of talent in Minneapolis. Like there's not a lack of good bands. It's just, it just doesn't seem like kids mingle from one group to the other. I think that's probably the biggest problem.
And then the pros of your local scene.
Pros, well, the bands are great.
True.
I mean, there's a lot of good people in Minneapolis. Everybody's super nice, and like I know I've been told by bands that come through that pretty much like out of like a lot of the other places that they try to book, like the people in Minneapolis are more helpful than a lot of them. We try to make sure that the band's coming through, that they have a show, and it's a decent show, and just giving bands a place to sleep, and giving them money for food and stuff
nice.
like that. So like Minneapolis is a really good spot for hospitality, I would say, for like the out of state bands. That's probably the best thing that I can think of off the top of my head.
Now, not to play into stereotypes, but I've heard that like Minnesota was always just kind of like a beautiful, happy place to begin with. Like someone could like rob your house and then you'd be like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't like put out more stuff."
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think, excuse me, I think the people in Minneapolis can have a little bit of a mean streak. I don't think they're going to apologize for you breaking into their homes, but, but no, I mean, for the most part, I think, people are a little bit more laid back. It's kind of like, I think I saw, it was a quote from Prince. I think he said once that he likes living in Minnesota because the cold keeps all the shitty people out.
Nice.
I think that's kind of true to a certain extent. Like the people here, they're all, everybody's super nice, and I think it's because we know, we got to deal with a lot of shit with the weather and stuff like that. So why even be mad?
Also takes a tough person to kind of be in like what we talked about, negative 45-degree weather. Like fuck, that takes a certain caliber of person.
Yeah, Yeah,
So
I don't like it.
yeah, I wouldn't think anyone would like it. Like even the person that's just like, yeah, I love snow. It's like, yeah, but do you like freezing to death in the woods in the backyard?
No. Don't.
What would you say would be the immediate goals for your guys' band? You know, the new year just started. What are you guys looking at for summer, fall, winter?
Summer fall. Well, we're gonna be trying to do a just a short weekend tour in May. I know that we're gonna be doing that, and then I think we're gonna try and do like a week long tour sometime in the summer. Try and get out east, probably like as far as like Philly or something like that. We're still kind of working on the routing, but you know we've kind of focused on like the immediate Midwest, like where we are right now, like the Dakotas, Wisconsin, Chicago, Iowa, like those places. But like we actually kind of want to, keep building on those places and expand further. Just like keep playing around and just keep on building. I guess would probably be the goal.
Nice.
Yeah.
I remember you were talking earlier about playing Warp Tour. Um, and I'm assuming that you guys are going to be playing Warp Tour this, or you might be. Oh, oof, oof, I almost said that came out wrong. That came out so entirely wrong.
I don't even.
Um,
I honestly don't even know what you were gonna say. So
I was gonna. Well, are you guys gonna play Warp Tour this year?
I don't know. Well, I mean, I think we're gonna kind of have the same mentality as last year. Like, I don't know
Mm.
what they're actually doing now, because
It's
I
a.
saw
It's a.
that. Like, is that the only thing that they're doing? Is just the
I'm
one?
pretty sure. Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's like the so far the most cutthroat like battle of the bands that I've seen thus far, and it's
yeah,
like a very odd platform that they're using.
yeah, and like, I guess that's kind of the shitty thing, is because years past they always pick five bands and let them all play, which is just really cool because like you get more bands, getting an opportunity to do that.
Oh
Whereas
yeah.
whereas this year I think it's just one band for the main stage or something like that,
Yeah,
which
and
is really weird.
I do think it goes along with having the big prize purse and like the exposure, the songs with Johnny. It's a little more elaborate than before,
Yeah,
which I think is probably the reason why they're doing it differently this year.
yeah, and they probably got sick of putting up with us running around like a pack of weasels during the day.
Yeah, that's also true too as well. They're just like, oh
Just
man,
trying to get like trying to get all the guys, all the people and bands together, like make sure you're doing this and that and that.
mm-hmm.
I'm guessing that probably had something to do with it too. But I guess
Because we're
like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say like War Tour's kind of been seeing some odd things for the past few years. They're just like, guys, we gotta really cut down on the kids.
I don't know. Did that? Uh-oh. I don't know if it's gone or not. Why are you still just laying there like a little weirdo? Huh? You little weirdo. He's saying, oh, I don't think I'm on. It says live. I don't know what that means. I'm too old for this, man. I don't know how to use technology. You can see it on your phone. Oh. Good thing I didn't do anything embarrassing. Like, I probably shouldn't even say that. Let's see. I don't really have any stories. I wish I could actually like interact with somebody if there's anybody watching, but I don't even know. I don't even know if anybody's here. But I think all the jokes I know are slightly offensive, so I don't know if that would be a good idea. I probably butcher it anyway. I didn't even know I was still on. There he is.
So, at the current moment, Babetalk is going to continue from my cell phone because,
Perfect.
normal. So, while I try and fix this because we cannot do a song showcase until my computer turns back on. So what was this? We were talking about Warped Tour.
Yeah.
Real fast. Let's talk about your experience on Warped Tour because that's something that not a lot of bands get to experience.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was really fun. And I mean, we didn't really push it like super hard. We were just kind of like, well, like, I'll post about it every now and then. Like, it's not like the biggest thing with our band that we need to be promoting right now. And we just kind of had the mentality that like, it'd be cool to get it. If we don't get it, like, whatever, like, but, yeah, like we got to play, and, it was a lot of fun. It was, like, there's a lot more, planning and order to it than I think I realized like going into it. Yeah, like, we got to hang out, before the gates opened, and we got to walk, where like all the bands have like their trucks and stuff, and like just like see them, like sit under a tent on their phone, but like, kind of like what they do like on a day-to-day basis was really cool. Like, especially like for us, because we've been going to Warped Tour for like 10 years. So to actually be able to go up there and play like I don't know if you'd call it a festival, but like, just something that like has meant so much to each of us. Like, I just thought that was really cool.
I mean, I absolutely would call it a festival because like you have the showcase of all the different bands, and it's going all around the country for like several months out of the
Right.
year. It's insane. And you said that you had you get guys have been going to Warped Tour for years, and I know I don't want to say like it's completely obvious, but just what was going through your mind when you're now escalating from festival goer to festival performer?
It was pretty surreal. Like just especially like for us, like when we look at ourselves and we look at our music, like we're always like, we